What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Franchise Play, and I'm back with another franchise player value rating video. The top 15 Chicago Bulls of all time, according to the FPVR, which, if you're new to this, I'll do a quick explanation. It is designed to take into consideration every single player that has ever played at least 3 seasons for every current NBA organization. It combines their individual accomplishments as well as their participation in team organizational success. So I have decided or defined that as their complete or total franchise value to the franchise. So this is my 4th team now that I'm showing an actual video for. And if you are subscribed to my channel, then you know that I am taking these teams and putting them in NBA 2K17. I've done Legends rosters before, but this year's theme is based off of the FPVR, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be based off of that moving forward. The FPVR is a liquid system, so it's dynamic. It can change if players are still active and playing for their current team. The Bulls are a really good example of that, and I'm going to get into that in a second, because you may be looking at this list and like, okay, I don't see what's going on. All right, so I'm going to break it down. Obviously, the easiest thing to determine for the Bulls is their #1 player of all time is Michael Jordan. If you do any type of list at all and that doesn't turn out to be the result, then you really know there's something wrong with your list. This FPVR total is insane. 430.9 for Mike, and I mean, second place is not anywhere close. And so last time we did Charlotte, right? So we saw Larry Johnson had the highest FPVR, and we saw that wasn't all that significant. But Mike's is insane, because if you look here, Bill Russell's is only 350.9, and we know Bill Russell is the greatest winner in team sports history. So for Mike to have 80.9 on an FPVR that's 80.9 points higher, we know what that means. You're seeing what that means. So he's clearly #1. Scottie Pippen is clearly #2 at 213, because you got to remember, Michael Jordan never won a championship without Scottie Pippen. So all 6 of Mike's rings, Scottie had those rings as well. Scottie also has all defensive team selections and NBA selections. The Bulls whole grid isn't filled out because some of these I transported just a total from a previous spreadsheet. As we move in down the line and see some of these other teams, I'm going to have the entire spreadsheet filled out. But if I stopped and went back to do that, I wouldn't finish this project on time. And I'm trying to get this roster out within the month of March. So #3 is Bob Love, which is probably a little bit of a surprise, especially for some younger Bulls fans. But Bob Love was the #1 scorer for the Bulls in the 1970s, who were a really good team, challenged the Golden State Warriors in 1975. I believe it was when the Bulls were still in the Western Conference, pushed them to the brink, I think, in the Western Conference Finals. And that was the year that the Warriors went on to win the championship. That was the last one they won before Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green led them to a title in 2014-15. 4th is Derrick Rose. Y'all know how I feel about my boy Rose. That's my guy. As high, even though he's 4th in the Bulls FPVR all time, we all know it could have been much higher. He should clearly be sitting 3rd, with Bob Love should be a distant 4th, but it's not the case. We all know what went down, what happened, the injuries and all of that, but Rose should have more here. Jerry Sloan is next at 88.4. Then we got Joakim Noah, who is in the top 6, the #1 big man here for the Bulls. Norm Van Leer, 80. You see right here in this 80s section, it gets really tight. Norm Van Leer, 84.3. Horace Grant with the 80.3. When we get to the end of this list, we're going to talk about people who aren't here and why. Chet Walker, 76.8. Luol Deng with 75.1. Then you got Tony Kukoc, the 73.2. John Paxson, 71.8. BJ Armstrong is 69.8. And Bill Cartwright, 63.4. So one of the biggest things that jumps out at you here is, if you're talking about current Bulls, is where's Jimmy Butler? Well, Jimmy Butler, when I started this list, it was the beginning of the season. And my rule for the FPVR is I don't update it until the end of every season. So at the beginning of this season, Jimmy Butler was just below Bill Cartwright for the 15th spot, and just below Kirk Hinrich, as you can also see Kirk Hinrich is there. So that space, so where there's 4 sales between Cartwright and Hinrich, the people below Cartwright are not on the team. Now, as you can see, I put Jimmy Butler's updated totals in here. So as of right now, Jimmy Butler's averaging 15.2 points a game as a Bull. Well, in his career, he's only played for the Bulls. 4.8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.4 steals, 0.4 blocks. He's been in the playoffs 4 times. He's been an all-star now 3 times. He has been all defensive second team 3 times, and he has been in the NBA for 6 seasons. So you see the 18 there, 6 times 3. Now, the reason why he's not above or in the top 15 is because, like I said, I don't update it until the end of the season. Well, the All-Star game appearance that he had this year, that was 5 points. So if you took that off, you're down to 59.8. So that was really the biggest thing. And then his scoring average has gone up throughout this season because he's averaging a career high 23.7 a game right now. So Butler, I always knew when I first started doing this, this was probably going to be Butler's last year not on this list. So, and as long as he stays with the Bulls, you have to assume it's going to continue to climb. We know there's a lot of trade rumors for him, and if that happens, then his FPVR, as far as the Bulls are going to be concerned, is going to stop, and he'll start creating an FPVR for his next team if he does get traded, but he won't be eligible to be on that team's FPVR list until he's been there 3 seasons. So that's kind of the little rule set that I made. The other person that most people are like, what, is Dennis Rodman. So some are like, where in the world, how is Dennis Rodman not on the team? Dennis Rodman was, you know, one of the biggest parts of the Bulls 72-10 team. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Dennis Rodman, and I'm going to go through all of his statistics with the Bulls, and hopefully you'll see how that ended up that way, and maybe it'll make some sense to you. This is one of the only times, or the few times, I've actually done that. So let's look. We're on Basketball Reference. Dennis Rodman did spend the requisite 3 seasons with the Bulls that he needed. You can't really highlight this like I want to, but so 3 seasons. So we're going to go here. I'm going to switch out. Actually, no, I'm just going to copy these cells here, and we're going to replace this and make it Dennis Rodman. So Dennis Rodman here. And the way my spreadsheet is set up, I feel like Kevin Hart, the way my bank account, no, but the way my spreadsheet is set up is going to automatically keep that total, a running total. So he was with the Bulls 3 seasons. So that's 3 points per season. So we changed that from 18 to 9. So automatically drops him to 55.8. So that's well below the 15th spot right there. But we know about the championship, so that's going to play a role. So as far as points per game, he averaged 5.2 points a game and 15.3 rebounds. That's a lot. 5.2 points, 15.3 rebounds. All right, so he's back up to a 56.3. Assists per game with the Bulls, 2.8 assists. I think that was 0.6 steals. Now, I already did this, but I'm doing this for the benefit of showing you guys how I got to these totals. 0.3 blocks. Obviously, he went to the playoffs all 3 years with the Bulls. Went to the conference finals all 3 years with the Bulls. The conference finals are worth 1.5 points for every conference final appearance. 3 NBA finals appearances are worth 2 points apiece. So then that is 6 and 3 rings, which is worth 9 points because it's 3 points per every ring. So there's that. Now we see 73.7. You're like, wait a minute, he's high enough. Well, Rodman did not go to any all-star teams with the Bulls. So we have to drop this, take this out. So that's 15 gone. As far as Defensive Player of the Year, none of his Defensive Player of the Year awards came during the time he was with the Bulls. So 95, 96, all the way to 97, 98 is his time with the Bulls. And None of his Defensive Player of the Year awards came with the Bulls. None of his All-Star teams came with the Bulls. But he did have one All-Defensive First Team with the Bulls, which was his first season there. All-Defensive First Team in the FPVR is worth 1 point. I'm sorry, 2 points. So he gets 2 points there, but he loses the 3 points here. No All-NBA First Teams, no Finals MVP, no Rookie of the Year, of course, no All-Star Game MVP, of course, because he didn't go to the All-Star Game. So now you see, Dennis Rodman's total comes to 57.7, which is actually well below Bill Cartwright. It's well below Kirk Heinrich, well below Jimmy Butler. Now, if you were to say, all right, FPVR per season played or something like that, then maybe Rodman gets there, because three seasons, 3 championships, but no All-Star team still might hurt him. But, you see where this is going. He's losing points because he wasn't with the Bulls very long. He's also losing points because he wasn't an All-Star in any of the Bulls in any of those seasons. So, and then the other thing, he loses points because he's really a one-dimensional statistical player with only really getting big statistics in the rebounding category. So that's where he loses. So some other players from other organizations may have the same type of situation as far as the FPVR is concerned. So this is not necessarily a list of the most talented or maybe the coolest players in history. What the FPVR is the guys with the most production, both individual and team, and also longevity. So those 3 things, those 3 components is how you get on the FPVR. So that right there is all I have for the Bulls. Next up will be Cleveland. So that should be fun, seeing how far ahead is LeBron James. So we'll show that. We'll do that next on the next episode of this FPVR series. You guys, like I said, if you have not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also hit that bell for the notification so you'll know when these videos or when the next videos come up. Also, be sure to continue to tune in on Wednesday evenings when we play the Legends roster. So you'll see these teams that I'm putting together in NBA 2K17 form. So we'll get a chance you'll continue to get a chance to see that. Maybe I'll actually beat Junior sometime in one of those games. I've only won once. So we'll see what's going on with that. But yeah, as always, I appreciate you watching. God bless. Peace.